in Benue State, Dr. Abati, in Benue State, we saw a video. Please, can you pull up that video?
Electronic voting.
Manual and electronic voting. We saw okay, what is going on here, really? This happened in Benue State.
APC, one of the local governors.
Is it the same governor? Who is that governor that you told me about? Hey, goodness.
Please be able to use that.
Goodness me. No, I mean, this is in his state. This clearly, they said it happened. But this is just a shame on our electoral process. INEC, the REC, all of these materials that are being given out to these hoodlums, touts, or whoever they are, political thugs. I mean, there has to be a way in our society to actually gain this confidence back in the electoral process in Nigeria.
Well, I've always made the point that after the 1999 elections, the Catholic Secretariat and other civil society agencies, including the group Concerned Professionals led by Professor Patu Tome, brought many of us together and we were reviewing the elections. We discovered after the 1999 elections that Nigerians had developed many methods of rigging election. After the 2023 elections, in fact, the rigging process had become even more sophisticated. In 2007, the rigging process was so brazen that even President Yar'Adua, upon being elected, said, well, I don't think the process that brought us here is free and fair. In 2011, President Jonathan said, no, we have to review this process. We can't continue like this. He said nobody should rig on his behalf. So we've had this problem. But what we have seen is that these methods of rigging continue to be reinvented. Completely. Whether they are modernizing them or they are going back to prevent
what did you call it?
What I find instructive in this example from Benue State is that video, when I saw it, do you know that there was a policeman there carrying a gun, and the policeman was saying, "Una well done, una well done." That's how ridiculous Nigeria has become. A policeman supervising the fake thumbprinting of ballot papers, and he was telling them, "Una well done, una well done." That's Nigerian democracy for you. And in Benue, of course. This last local government election, the ruling party, won in all the local councils, and the governor is a priest.
I mean, come on,
who has become a politician. So, but the opposition, the PDP, they are protesting that how can you have a priest as governor and this kind of thing? But the scandal is the policeman saying, "Una well done."
Well, we've seen police officers carrying.
Yes,
they're not just supervising. They are also accountable to them.
Does
anything happen to?
I think at all this point, all those that are doing that, they need to go and do confession
with the priest. Rufai.
Peace of the Lord be with you, sir.
Rufai, well done,
well done.
Well, all right.
They all need to go and do.
Well done, well done.
They all need to go and do confession. Only father of Benue.
Well, all right. Well, in Edo State, let's take this story. Let's highlight this video of a commuter pleading with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Minister of Transportation to elevate the suffering of Nigerians plying the Warri-Benin Road. Let's look.
For other side, for all this one, some of all this motor now, they know they offer. If you offer now, you feel on them again. Just for what do we go enjoy for this country? This country, what do we go enjoy, sir? Go. What's the traffic? You go buy fuel for 100,000 from Warri to Benin, 100,000 to buy fuel. We don't take this road now for 4 hours. We take this road. Market women now, they don't buy something from Warri to Benin. Why things not out here? Thank you. You suffer too much. Honorable Minister of Transport, I don't know your name. Oh, that thing people are bed with a bed. Oh, man, do the road.
Who is the Minister
I thought I should highlight this video. I mean, to show the plight of the people. We're here in Lagos. You are trying to find out the name of the Minister of Transportation. Help him out. Alkali.
Yes, I do.
Well, kudos to this young man for, this visual representation of what Nigerians are going through. I mean, it's a highlight on our state of our roads in Nigeria. Well, in another day, Nyesom Wike has blamed the governor of Rivers State, Similaye Fubara, for the crisis rocking the state, saying that Fubara is the architect of the violence in the state. Wike made the claims during a live television interview, adding that the violence erupted due to the governor's failure to obey the rule of law and a court judgment. Let's listen.
He went as far as to say, I do not need police before I conduct election. I do not need security agency before I conduct election. I don't need the protection of life and property. When somebody says, I don't need police, what are you saying? I mean, fighting violence. We take opportunity, say police will not be involved. And you are saying, you can go. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. In that case, who is the perpetrator of that violence? Who?
Are you blaming the governor for the violence?
It is not about blaming. The governor is the architect of the violence.
Yeah, you heard that, Rufai. He did say the architect of the violence, but Wike is citing court judgment. Which court judgment is he talking about? Because Fubara was standing on his own court judgment as well. But in the meantime, Chijoke Ihonwo, the newly inaugurated chairman of Yobu local government area in Rivers State, has ordered the removal of Wike's name from a building at council secretariat. The building, according to the chairman, will be renamed Obiwali House.
This man. Yes. Yes, sir. So we got the name here. Obiwali House. How many? Obiwali. We got somebody we make them enjoy. What about tomorrow morning?
All right, Rufai.
So a couple of things. Wike saying that the governor is the architect of the violence. Why can't he prove it empirically? Mm-hmm. Because all of this was because of the skirmish or the fight happening between both of them. And that's why I said there were many things we would have pressed Wike on that interview. The first thing, as he said that, I would have asked him, give me proof. I'll have said, is it the governor that is disrupting all the local governments? Why will this happen after the local government elections? Is it the governor that went to get the Federal High Court order to disrupt the local government election in the first place?
Point. Why did it happen after the election?
Why did it happen after the election? No, it didn't even happen after the election. It happened during the election
yes.
and after the election. It happened before, during, and after the elections. Mm-hmm. I'd also have pressed him the fact that, why is it that as the governor of the state security officer, the police is doing the bidding of the opposition party? And if he says he's got no hand involved, why was he saying, no, APC was the one that filed the court order and everything? Why is he there in the mix of things? He's supposed to be facing Abuja. And like somebody, and that's why I think very dark man has called it that, we can rather than fighting the river, there are roads left undone in Abuja. He also said that when they asked him, is it about resource? He said, no, I have my own budget. Please, Mr. Wike, that budget is not for you, it's for Abuja. Then secondly, I also have to say this. I don't know, I think the lawyers have to go and clarify. The unilateral changing of the name, are there not going to be some, legal pathways to be able to go through changing the name? Because the name of that building probably was codified. But also, why will a politician name a building after himself in the first place? I mean, it just shows the kind of hegemony these politicians have. You're naming things after yourself. It shows the level of hubris our politicians have.
Yeah.
All in all, we want peace.
Absolutely.
And I also support the governor in what he's doing as regards setting up a panel of inquiries. Mr. Wike said, you know the arsonists, just go and fish them out. Discipline. No, it's following due process, like we've said before. There are many questions we would like to press him on. But I would also like to ask Mr. Wike, but this was the man that you said that if you touch him, you touch me, because he's governor now. I think the problem, as with all godfathers, they make a mistake. And I have to say a Yoruba adage before I interpret the mistake. Yorubas have a saying. They say, what it means is if you look at a dead man with the eyes of, he was still there yesterday, the spirits will rip off your clothes. Yeah. So what it means is the fact that if you keep looking at it that, I brought him, he's my boy, but he's now the governor. Yeah. You forget he's now the chief of the state. So you must respect that. So you're looking at him with the eyes of, he was not the one that brought him in. He was about the fact that even before he became governor, he was aligned, attend council meetings in the state. That was all of, once he was sworn in on meter, you need to respect that. So that's where the conflict will always start. Right. And I said this thing. Another conflict we are waiting to load is between Mr. Walele and Okpebolo, because it always happens. I mean, the issue of Godfatherism and the politics in Nigeria. I want to actually pull up the picture of the day because I'm doing something new now. This is a picture, I believe that was posted on Business Day. For me, there it is. I would like for you to be this picture. I will not be running in 2027 election. I will walk comfortable. That is Tinubu with all his dogs. They have the INEC, we have the police, we have judiciary. Which is a sad plight, and it is. That's definitely.
Gosh, we spoke about this in detail. I wish I could say that. No, absolutely not. Yeah. Institutions in Nigeria are independent. They are, they do their duties, they do their jobs. So we've seen this play out. I think one other thing they should add to that is the opposition parties, because he almost has the opposition parties on a leash as well, because they have men in there. And we've talked about this at length about how we do not have strong oppositions, and if they're not careful, come 2027, even without these machineries at the disposal of the government, he would walk, because there's no viable opposition. So this talk around them coming together to form an alliance has been in the talks for a long time. Can they put aside personal interest and actually put the interest of the people and consolidate? At the end of the day, the people will choose, but let them have viable candidates for people to choose. But also, let us also point to the fact that these institutions that we mentioned, even though it's a joke, it shouldn't be like this. INEC should be in. The first letter of INEC is independent. Independent. So we talk about these things as a joke. The police should follow the constitution of the nation, not at the will of a particular person in power. So these are the conversations we have. We need stronger institutions for democracy to work in Nigeria.
Well said, Ayo. Well, more on elections. Let's head over to Anambra State. We'll take the story of Honorable Okonkwo Kenneth, a councillorship candidate representing the Young Progressive Party for Otolo Ward 1, who was reportedly attacked and tear gassed by police for fighting to secure his mandate during the just concluded local government elections. Kenneth is a person living with disability and an advocate for democracy and the rights of persons with disabilities. He was hospitalized after the incident.
So as you can see, the commander SARS with his team came here and they threatened me. Where I was trying to defend our civic responsibility or our civic rights in Otolo Ward 1. I'm a contestant for this election, YPP councillorship candidate, Otolo Ward 1. And it is my duty to defend the civil rights of my people. It is also my duty to ensure that due process takes place at this election. But I'm disappointed that the ruling government is threatening the poor masses with the state security. So, but one thing is certain, that we want the people's heart, and that's on our side. Thank you so much.
This is such a sad incident. I know persons living with disability in Anambra State trooped out in protest against this actual incident that occurred in Anambra State. We're calling on the governor. I mean, he was hospitalized after this whole incident. Dr. Abati.
Okay, this is very unfortunate because it will be recalled that when the Electoral Act of 2010 was reviewed and amended, one of the basic sections was Section 54 of the Electoral Act 2022. What does Section 54 of the Electoral Act as amended 2022, what does it say? It says that persons with disabilities will be included in the electoral process, Absolutely. That their right to vote and be voted for will be respected, and that facilities will be provided to accommodate them, including the provision of Braille, including the provision of whatever can assist them in line with the International Convention of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Now, this was touted when Electoral Act 2022 became law, on the grounds that, this will encourage inclusion. However, the Nigerian government continues to pay lip service to the rights of persons living with disability. Now, the Buhari government, one of the achievements of that government, even if we are resolved, we have affirmed that government sleepwalked, through 8 years, but it at least gave the commission on disabilities. But even that commission has not functioned. So this is a country where persons who live with disability are discriminated against. Yeah. Those are the people that are discriminated against, not lawmakers looking for national honors. And in this particular case, this gentleman and the other people affected, they have the right to press charges. They are right in bringing their matter to, the attention of the public. That there is ability in disability. Mm-hmm. These are the same persons living with disability who did us proud in Paris during the Paralympics. Able-bodied people failed us. They didn't win any medal. People living with disability brought home 7 medals to this country. And yet when it comes to elections, they are tear gas, they are, victimized against what we know in the world. One American president, in fact, was on a wheelchair. Mm-hmm. So there is ability in disability. Well, and Nigeria must get to that point where we do not discriminate against persons, minorities within our society.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
Section 54 of the Electoral Act should be enforced.
Absolutely. We're calling on the Inspector General of Police to look into this incident. Well, in Edo State, the People's Democratic Party had raised the alarm that officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission in the state have refused to grant the party and its candidate, Aswa Ighodalo, access to the bimodal voter accreditation system and other materials used in the September 21 state governorship election. Well, on Monday, the women wing of the party, all clad in black, trooped out to protest against the commission's refusal to allow the party gain access to election materials. Well, all right. On Tuesday, I believe the REC in Edo State has, saying that, the claim by the PPDP is false, and that's why Ighodalo has now been granted permission or access to the materials, which I feel like it was completely unnecessary. We need to also still hear from the PDP if the REC's claim is true. But what are these materials?